In leadership, now let me start by saying that the word leadership comes from the word leader. And the word leader comes from the word lead. So for me, leadership is the capacity and the ability of a leader to lead. Did you hear my simple definition? Leadership is simply, in my own definition, I'm not consulting any reference material. Leadership is simply the ability and the capacity of a leader to lead. So the work of a leader is to lead. To lead means to guide, to direct, to assist, to help. Because there are people that you must help, the ignorant, the misinformed, the misguided. You must direct them. So I said I'm going to look at leadership as a philosophy and as a process. Leadership as a philosophy means there's something you are representing. There's something you stand for. There's something you must be known for. Your core values. What I would call your core values. What are your core values? What do you represent? What are you known for? Every time I've said this before, your life could be summarized in one sentence. What you represent could be summarized in one sentence. We know there are people that represent, there are ministries that represent righteousness, holiness. That's what they emphasize. It does not mean that they don't teach other things, but their core value is holiness. There are ministries that represent prosperity. It doesn't mean that they don't teach other things, but no matter how much they go around, they will always come back to prosperity. There are ministries that emphasize prayers or deliverance. That is their core value. So you must understand that when you are a leader, you represent a philosophy. I say that the philosophy outlives the leader. I'm going to show you example. Your philosophy, if your philosophy is not strong enough, the philosophy will die with the exit, with the death of a leader. Rastafarianism is a philosophy. I don't know if you know that. Rastafarianism is a form of religion, it is a philosophy. The founder died, but the philosophy continues. Am I talking to somebody? So, Boko Haramism is a philosophy. People that started the philosophy, so many of them have died. Where is Osama bin Laden today? He's dead and gone. But are we been able to stop fundamentalism? No, because the philosophy has been sold. People have been indoctrinated. People have been rooted in a philosophy. So even if a leader has a strong philosophy, when the leader dies, the philosophy is still alive. Jesus, for example, came. Jesus died, buried, and was resurrected. But what he came to give us stands. So in leadership, you must be able to define your philosophy. Your philosophy, I said, are your core values, your belief system, what you represent, what are you selling, what are your products, what are you selling to the people, your philosophy. Now I said I said leadership as a process talks about the way you go about administering what you have. The way you go about advancing your philosophy. As a leader, you lead, you coordinate, you direct, you guide. Now, so the process of getting this thing done will also determine to a very great extent your success or your failure. What is the process? How do you start it? What is your strategy? I know that strategy has been said. What are the strategy of selling your philosophy so that when you are no longer there, your philosophy can outlive you? You must define your process. You must define the strategy. How do you push that? You must look at, we talk about different temperament, we talk about different age bracket. How do you communicate your philosophy to the list of your the list of your followers, and they can understand? The strategy you use for this man may not work for younger people, but then it's the same philosophy. So everybody must be able to be approached based on your unique process. Hallelujah. Amen. Two more things I want to say, and I leave here. In strong leadership, the leader is not threatened by the strength, the giftings, and the potentials of the followers. You are not threatened. Everybody has his own uniqueness. I can never be and do everything that Bishop Ene is doing. Even though he gave birth to me, even though I've been in this church since the foundation was laid, it's not everything that he is capable of doing that I am capable of doing. But there's something I may not also be able to do, which he may not also have the capacity to do it. Now, in leadership, you don't need to be threatened because your follower is unique in his own way. There's something about your follower that you yourself, you are not capable of doing. So you feel threatened. That is satanic. In fact, they call that thing charismatic witchcraft. Controlling people that are under you, you suppress them so that they will not shine. It is error in leadership that sometimes God may decide to bypass GO and reveals himself to a kindergarten. And the kindergarten looks for a way to pass the message, and the GO will say, go away with this. When God is ready, he will show it to me. Is leadership mistake? Because God decides to work with people according to as he chooses. It is within God's prerogative who is going to deal with per time. It is not, we don't decide that. So if God decides to bypass this person and goes to the other person, because all of us, God must make all of us relevant in the body. The Bible says all of us are members of the same body, but we are unique. The hand cannot tell the feet, I don't need you. If you do that, then become the feet. But the hand may never become the feet. Allow the feet to function. So, let me go back to what I said. The leader must not be threatened. Don't feel threatened by the success, by the giftings, by the uniqueness, by the peculiarity of your subordinate. Rather, this is what you're going to do. Harness the potentials. Do what? Harness the potential. Tap it. Utilize it to your advantage. Now, you are not going to be exploitative. You are going to be explorative. You are not going to just exploit the person. You know, exploitative? You are just going to use this person to the person's disadvantage while you are the one gaining. It is not a parasitic relationship, it's a symbiotic relationship. You gain, I gain. You are blessed, I am blessed. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, you are not going to behave like mosquito. Mosquito, when it perches on the host, what it does is to withdraw the blood of the host. What does it lead to the host? It releases plasmodium, malaria parasite. So at the end, the person that is providing succor to malaria is the one that will suffer. Oh, sorry, succor to mosquito is the person that will suffer. So don't be threatened. If you discover that there is a grace in the life of your member, the life of the people that follow you, please design a system that will place a square peg in a square hole. Don't place a square peg in a round hole. One of the leadership failures is when we play sentiment. We want our people up the line. When others are on merit, we sideline them. You are going to fail as a leader. So locate the grace, project the person, push the person forward, to invest in the person. What do I say? Invest in the person. Encourage the person. Tap tap from the person. Use the person to your own advantage and also be a blessing to the honor of the gift. Have I said something to us? Don't be threatened. You are unique. The person is unique. What you can do, the person cannot do. What the person can do, or what the person can do, you may not be able to do it. But then there is strength, unity in diversity. Bring unity in diversity. This person is diverse. This person is gifted in one area. Stand on your calling. When it is time, hand over to the person to manifest. Are we together, please? Are we together, please? Don't be threatened. Except there is element of rebellion. Except there is element of usurpation. Except the person wants to usurp. Except the person wants to behave like, who is this person again? The son of David? Absalom, the handsome man. The one that was described as being beautiful. Because he was so extra handsome until he crossed the line of handsomeness into beauty. So he was both a man and a woman. Are we together? So take advantage of what your followers have. And then at the end of the day, reward the person, appreciate the person. Even if you cannot reward, appreciate the person. Let the person feel. And please, I also want to say this. Make every member of your team a stakeholder. Make every member what? A stakeholder. When everybody sees that this is my own, this thing belongs to all of us, they will give their best. Don't make it our own or my own. Bring everybody to that point where everybody sees those that this thing, I am also involved. The person will protect and fight to death. I don't know if somebody knows what I'm saying. Once people see it as your church, that is ministry, that is business, then people will stand aloof. Now, let me say this before I run away. The last thing I want to say is this. Learn to take responsibility. Learning to take responsibility is not just being in charge. When your team member fails, accept the failure of your team member as your failure. Are you hearing me? Don't do the blame game. The usher didn't know well, and the complaint comes to you. You said, you see that brother? That brother is always like that. First of all, you have to admit that the failure of the usher is your failure. Because probably there are some things you didn't handle well with the usher. Did you give the usher the necessary training before you posted him there? It is possible to assign an usher because you believe that since he was in the military, he will do well. Okay, so since the man is coming from the military barracks, he will coerce everybody. Everybody will be forced to sit where the man orders. You must sit down there. So his orientation is different from the orientation of the church. So if you just look at him, then you may not be able to accept that if a complaint is coming. I'm sorry, sir. First of all, learn to take his failure. Admit that is the failure you are associated with it. So that you're able to, thereafter, you can find out, you can work on why that thing, the system failed. It could be a system failure. It could be an individual failure. Are we talking? It could be a system failure. It could be an individual failure. But don't just push blames. Don't push it out. Don't, that one, that's the way he talks. No, first of all, admit it. Because probably you've not done enough. Are we hearing ourselves? Lastly, take personal interest. Take interest in the personal challenges of the people you lead. When Sister Rose does not come for choir practice, don't pick up the call and say, "You are always like this." Everybody came for choir practice, you will not show up. You wouldn't know what Sister Rose went through. First of all, listen, take personal interest. Sister Rose, even when, see, let me tell us something. We are aware of what is trending, the death of Sister Osinachi, the lead singer in Dunamis. We are aware. Okay. Now, that woman has been going through so much. Although it is necessary to cover things up. According to news on the media, please, I have to put that caveat. According to stories on the social media. Now, for every time she failed to show up for ministration, nobody really knew what she was going through. For every time she must have mounted the podium and she wasn't her best, people might not have known what the problems were. The only thing, if the stories I'm hearing are true, I would only blame Sister Osinachi because she also refused to confide in her own pastor. Because even when Dr. Paul Enche spoke, said it is now that the one is late that he now comes to discover the stories that surrounded her. So what I'm saying is that, please, let it not just be in church organization, business matters. When there is a problem, please, even when before there's a problem, know your people, understand them. There are some of them, like I tell my people, there are children that come to school. They will not be their best in class. Don't sit in the classroom and judge them. Please, take a step further. Find out the environment, what is going on. Is the family happy? Is the mother okay? Is the father doing well? We were so pissed. My family was so pissed. When a boy in our children's school, was owing school fee to the tune of 400,000. And one day the principal woke up, according to the report we had from our children, and looked at the boy and called the school driver, said, drop this boy at home. Before the boy could be dropped at home, he said, you need to be sold to recover the school fee. Now, what a traumatizing statement. What a traumatizing statement. That boy has been away from school for some time. Even if the boy gets back to school, what is the mindset of that boy? Principal, did you call the father of the boy? I mean, you let the person that is at fault. You are attacking the wrong person. You are attacking the boy who did not come to the school to register himself. It is the parent that brought the boy to school. So why are you attacking the person? You are leaving the issue. Handle issue and leave the person. This is one of the things we do. Sometimes we attack personality instead of attacking the problem.